in today's world, Christmas has become way hyper commercialized. So you'll find ministers saying many of the same things that William Branham said in modern, normal churches. But the difference that I can see is it literally comes down to, does the church preach the gospel? And the gospel in its simplicity is Jesus came, died for your sins, came to save you. It came to, to heal the broken wounds that the law had oppressed people, and people were just, the law failed according to the Bible, and people were oppressed under the law. So Jesus came and showed a better way. If you read the book of Hebrews, it basically says, now we have a better way. The difference is churches that preach the gospel will tell you that Christmas has become hyper commercialized. I mean, they're right now, they're playing Christmas music in Halloween. It's that bad. You go into some stores, they're trying to get you into this mode of buying for Christmas. That's what stores do. And it's all marketing. I understand the business side of what they're doing. But the problem is people are losing focus of what Christmas was for, regardless of whether it was the right date, the wrong date. I'm not even going to try to address that question in this podcast, but people have lost focus about what Christmas is about. It's about celebrating the birth of Jesus, which as Christians should be the greatest holiday out of all of the holidays in the world. And you don't find ministers who are preaching the gospel saying, don't celebrate the birth of the founder of our religion. You know what I'm saying?
It had a lot to do with the fact that we didn't believe Jesus was born in December. Now, William Branham, again, one sermon William Branham says Jesus was born in October. Another sermon said he was born in April.
Right.
So, again, there is not a single thing that William Branham preached consistent on that. So, in our sect of the message, after William Branham died, we went with our pastor Raymond Jackson went with the October date. So we believe Jesus was born, roughly on Halloween in our sect of the message. And so this is a funny story, John, actually, looking back. It made me cry at one point. It's a funny story now. So in our sect of the message, we had a really complex end of day calculations, that counted down to the end of the world. And the sect I come from, the world is supposed to end at about 17 times now. I'm exaggerating slightly, but I think the world is supposed to have been ended about 9 times now, basically, in the sect of the message I was in. But anyways, all of it starts with particular calculations, which we hung on our wall that Raymond Jackson had come up with. And the starting point for all of the calculations is the birth of Jesus, right? Based on the October birth of Christ. So after Raymond Jackson died, some years went by, our next pastor, he changed the birth of Jesus to April. And nobody even noticed, and all of the calculations went sideways. And in my mind, like, my head is exploding, like, how in the world do I make sense of all of this?
Wow.
Because to us, that was, like, central to all of our end of the world ideas. And of course, we didn't believe the world would end, but we believed that was the time that the end would usher in, I guess, and Christ would return, and the week of Daniel, and all of the, the cannon fodder stuff that you would believe in your, that kind of stuff would happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we went from, William Branham preached it both ways. We, most of our life, believed the October way, and then we switched to the April way, in more recent years in our sect of the message. But the message, there's no consistency on any of this anywhere.
Yeah.
And it goes back to William Branham preaching wildly different things.
Yeah. And it's really odd, too, when you think about it, because even in the Gospels, the birth of Jesus is a significant part of the Gospels. God sent his only beloved Son, the reason why we call ourselves Christians. And in the churches that preach, instead of playing the tapes, the ones that preach against celebrating, most of them that I've heard are preaching against Christmas because it was the April date. And they say, we can't celebrate Jesus, the world is wrong, so we can't celebrate with the other Christians because it happened on April. But then in April, they don't celebrate Jesus' birth, right? They hold the normal Easter services, and it's like they have forgotten that Jesus was born.
We didn't even celebrate. Easter was totally taboo for us too. Easter was more taboo than Christmas, so we didn't do Easter either. In because that's not when Jesus really died either. We did follow the same logic. But yeah, so you all celebrated Easter, John, in your sect of the message. I guess you did, because you all was down, or they was down there around that grave every Easter, waiting for the prophet to resurrect. Yeah, that's true.